Welcome back to Non Niche. This is Raquel. I had the wonderful opportunity to interview the Miss Fatima, the owner of Kaer products. I have been eyeing her products for a good minute because I am a huge fan of perfume oils as well as body oils because I'm a sensitive skin girly. I am. My body just needs extra care. And she is sensitive skin friendly. All skin types are welcome, and she has took her time, and you can tell by the way she talks about her products. You can tell by the way she presents her products to the world. She lets you even know. She's like, I didn't know what I'm doing. But this is why I started Nanish, to help you realize that you can create anything that you put your mind to, and it's not impossible to achieve. So let's not spoil anything else. So let's check out the interview. I do want to discuss, like, basically how you got started, what was your mindset, and why
Mm,
perfume
mm,
oils and
okay.
body oils as well.
Okay. I'm gonna forget most of those questions by the
That's
time I'm
fair.
done answering the first one, so we might have to circle
Yeah.
back. But in terms of how I got started, I guess the idea really came to me from like traveling a lot, like and visiting, different perfume houses, niche perfume stores. And after the fact, after my travels, it was the summer of 2023. I was like,
Hmm.
hey, I feel like I buy a lot of perfume oils. I buy a lot of like body oils and whatnot, perfume products, beauty products in general. I was like, I feel like
Yeah.
I see perfume kind of booming online on TikTok, on Instagram. Like communities are forming that weren't there before.
Hmm.
And I think I can combine my love for passion, my love for not fashion, geez, my love for perfume
She's
and
worried about
beauty,
shopping.
my love for perfume and I had this like sort of need to start something, to create something special in terms of a business.
Hmm.
I just never knew what it would be. So once that idea came to me, I was like, this is something that I know I can create, I can make unique, and that I could sell if I put in enough effort to make it unique and stand out, among the masses. So that's literally what I did 2023. As soon as it came to me, I think I wrote a business plan the next day, like literally the
She's like,
next day.
immediately.
Yeah, immediately. I was like, if I don't do this and I slack on it, I know I won't do it. And I so desperately want, one thing about me is if I want something, I will
Hmm.
do everything in my power to try to basically achieve it, as long as I really want it. So
Right.
literally, business plan, brand strategy. I didn't have a business name until like September. I remember. So I started in the summer. I didn't have a business name because I didn't register the business until September because I didn't have a name. I had no idea what to call the business.
Yeah.
I met with a fragrance specialist. She was the first person I met with regarding my business because I was like, okay, I'm going into fragrance. This is what I'm doing.
Mm.
I knew who I was selling to. So I think I even sent her my brand strategy so just so that she understood the persona and
Oh, that's
whatnot.
brilliant.
And yeah, so it was like really in depth, really in
Hmm.
detail, and it was crazy. I kind of look like a maniac when you really when I'm like thinking about it now. I was like so in depth because I knew what I wanted. I just didn't know how to sort of bring it to life myself because
Yeah.
I know I'm not the fragrance expert. Yes, I love perfume, but I'm not the fragrance expert. So she basically created her name is Eudora, by the way, for anyone listening who's interested in starting a fragrance brand. She's an
Hmm.
exceptional her Instagram handle I think is a dose of E, and she's amazing. Literally, she put together this document for me, and I use it as a guide. I use it as a guide, and she sent over.
Hmm.
She made me purchase certain samples of fragrances just so that I understood the vibe.
Hmm.
And once I had that, I was like, okay, now I have the like, I basically have everything. I moved on to branding. I reached out to a friend of mine and I was like, hey, do you know any branding experts in Nigeria? I know to help me save money. And I know there's like Nigerians who are exceptional at doing what they do. And I knew I couldn't do it
Right.
myself. Like I tried. I literally went on Canva. I wish you could see what I put together. It was so terrible.
You're
It was
like,
so horrible. As soon
delete.
as I was done, I was like, yeah, I was like, this ain't it. Let me be honest with myself. This is not it
Like,
at
I
all.
understand what I did.
It was so bad. I was like, let me not lie to myself.
Oh
Let
my
me just be honest with myself.
gosh.
And so I got help. I reached out to branding and then for packaging design because I found one studio that was better at like branding, like in terms of like the look and feel and the
Yeah.
logo, and then the other was better at packaging design. So I decided to go with both of them, basically one for the other thing, and that was the best decision I could have ever made because literally I'm so in love with my packaging. It's so
I
cute.
mean, I
I love
love
it so
it
much.
because it's like simple
Yeah,
but
yeah,
elevated, but also like
exactly,
has like that earthy vibe, which I kind of
exactly.
feel like that
Hmm.
kind of brings homage to you and then like the
Hmm.
culture, and then
Hmm.
also like
Hmm.
the it lets your perfume oils in your brand just breathe instead of
Yeah,
just being like overpowering. So it's a perfect
exactly.
balance, which I
Yes.
really like.
Thank you. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I'm going for. And they brought it to life. And one studio is TMN Studios, and the other is crap. What were they called? I can't remember what they were called. But I have a video link somewhere on my page with them if you scroll all the way down. But
Hmm.
they were amazing too. And after that, I was like, okay, branding done, packaging done. I started my website around the same time that I had my branding done, and that took
Okay.
several months because it was kind of like the design phase was completed pretty early on, but the implementation,
Mm.
like actually bringing it to life, took a while because there's a lot of coding that goes behind the scenes. Like I have no idea what he did, but he was able to put it together, and we were constantly tweaking things.
Hmm.
And I use Shopify, and I always tell people Shopify, Shopify, Shopify. Forget
I
the others,
know.
please.
It
Forget the
saves
others.
lives. It saves lives.
Shopify saves lives. It's just so much easier to use. It's better for you as a business owner as well as for your customers because it
Mhm.
tracks so much data, and data is king. Like I obsessively look at my data, and it's really important to know,
Yeah.
where your money is coming from and where you're losing money, where sales are dropping off. Like it shows you all of that, literally the entire customer journey from A to
Oh
Z.
no.
You will see it through your Shopify. So I think that's very important to have. Because yes, starting a business is amazing and whatnot,
You're like,
like showing
woo!
girl
But the
boss.
big, yeah, you're like, I
But
did it. What am I doing?
doing exactly, you need to
What?
track your numbers,
Yeah.
and that's honestly a great way to track numbers. So Shopify done. Um, Once my packaging design was done, and I had like, because what I did was I basically for my bottles, I got like, so there's a base bottle, and then I had the base
Hmm.
bottles customized with color and like
Ooh.
it being labeled with like the words and whatnot. So
Right.
all those, yes, it costs money, but the way you're spending that money is by buying more, because the more you customize, the more you're gonna have to purchase in units because they have to
Right.
justify them turning on their large machines to customize your bottles, because they're not going to
Exactly.
turn it on for 500 units. I'm being honest with you guys. Like, I literally tried to lower my MOQs. The lowest I could get it was 1,000 units per SKU. So per
Wow.
style, that was the lowest I could get it. And yeah, so that was another, thing that I had no idea about. Like I
Yeah.
was so shocked because I was like, oh yeah, my unit costs aren't too bad, that I can price it here, girl,
Hmm.
that flew out the window.
She
As soon as
said,
I
what
paid
you
that
mean
first
only a
invoice,
thousand?
they said 1,000. I was like, oh, 1,000 in totality. They were like, no, per SKU, honey. I was like, oh Lord.
Oh. I'm like,
I was like,
what?
okay. So budget, like I blew my budget by I think 20 something percent. I have like a detailed tracker in my Excel file somewhere, but it went over
Yeah.
than a lot more than I had
I can
anticipated because of the
imagine.
MOQs
Oh,
and shipping.
good
Shipping
Lord.
from wherever you're shipping from in the world, the weight of your products, especially my glass products and liquid products, they're heavy.
Right.
So I had to pay a lot in shipping, like literally so much money in shipping. But honestly, once that was over, I had paid, like design was completed, I
Right.
purchased everything arrived. I sort of relaxed. As soon as I paid those invoices, I was a lot less stressed. Prior to that, I was not sleeping. I was just so
Bless your heart.
angsty. It was terrible. I
Oh,
remember I was like, when is this gonna be over?
you're like,
So it literally didn't like slow down until I paid those invoices.
mm-hmm.
And although it was a lot of money flying out of my account, because I'll be honest with you guys, it costs a lot of money to start a beauty brand.
Yes.
I think it's because of the customizations and like the SKUs.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're starting with one product, if you're starting with multiple, like I did, like I have like 12 SKUs, I believe. And the
Yeah.
reason for that is although I have 4 scents, I have different sizes and then I have body oil. So it adds up. So imagine each one of those bottles, 1,000
Yeah.
per
Yeah.
style, and it adds up real quick. Okay.
You're like,
And I'm okay with sharing like the numbers in I spent like about 35,000 in total,
wow.
$35,000. But one thing you have to realize is I didn't get all those bottles filled. I
That's
only got like a couple
true.
hundred
Right.
filled and that's how I spent. That's where the majority of the money went, is really packaging and then the product
Mm-hmm.
itself. And yeah, so it was really expensive. I thought initially when I started after doing all my math, I was like, oh, 15K, I'm good.
Yeah. You're
And
like,
then I was like,
woo!
okay.
And then
I was
you're
like,
like,
maybe,
wait,
I was like,
it's
okay,
going.
yeah. I was like, okay, it's going. And then I did the math again and I was like, okay, 25K should be okay. And then we hit 35K. I was like, okay,
You're like,
I hope it doesn't go any further than this because I don't know what I'm gonna do. And at that point, because I'm like, yes, I was okay to risk that much
yeah.
money. Like starting, I was okay with it, but obviously I'd be devastated if I didn't make that money back, But
Right.
I only put in as much as I was willing to lose. And I did get a $15,000 small business loan and it was from a
Oh, that's
nonprofit
a
profit.
blessing.
So the interest was low. It was 6%, which is
Yeah.
negligible in my
Mhm.
opinion, looking at the grand scheme of things. And so I always advise people to go to SBA.gov to, or is it SBA.com? I can't remember,
Like,
but one of the two
it's
to,
go.
yeah,
Uh,
.gov, right? Yeah.
yeah.
So it's a great resource if you're a small business looking for some sort of funding. But yeah, that's really like the process of, starting it, and then everything just kind of arrived, and then it was just me having to create content to create a little bit of hype and then launch literally. So for me receiving everything, I think the last shipment I received was like early August or
Mhm.
so, late July, early August, and then I launched September 28th. And I was like, I couldn't believe it when that first sale came in.
Aw.
I just started screaming. I remember, I just started screaming because it was even before I just opened the website early to see
Mhm.
if everything was working okay. And then the order came in. I was like, oh my God. I remember I got 20 orders that day. It was like 19, 20 orders that day. I went on TikTok live. It was crazy.
Aw.
I was so happy. And then now we're here. Me just trying to show up, post content online has done so much for me in my business. And I know I've mentioned this to you before.
Yeah.
And people reach out to me constantly asking me, oh, they're starting a business in so and so industry. And I'm like, guys, I swear it's just creating a very engaging story for people to watch and to connect with. That's literally you can copy and paste what I'm doing right now to really any product. And I think it's even harder for me because I'm selling a product that people can't interact with and aren't sure if they're gonna like. But if you're selling clothing or something they can
Yeah.
see, hi, Ehi, and something they can interact with, something they can see. I think it can also be a lot less stressful as a business owner when it comes to sales. I know I lose a lot of sales because people are like, they don't know if they're gonna like it, but that's also why I have a discovery set because
Yeah.
people usually purchase. That's like my most popular item because people buy it, and then I have rebuys coming in after the fact because they're like, oh, I like this scent, I like this scent, I like that
Mhm.
scent. Let me try the body oil, and so that's kind of like um the my strategy behind me not having a product that people can actually interact with and smell and know whether they like it or not. So yeah,
Yeah.
in terms of like starting, that's really what it was from A to Z. I hope I didn't skip over it.
Nah.
I didn't skip over anything, but yeah, I know he had a
No, that's
few
great.
other questions. Hi, he, I hope you're doing good. So
Um.
yeah, I know you had a few questions following that. I can't remember. You said how I
Oh.
started, and then.
Well, you
Mm-hmm.
kind of answered a
I
little
a
bit of
little
it.
bit,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, okay.
But it kind of like brought me to the question. It's just like, what was the best advice? But you kind of touched on it, where you said that I didn't put money up where I was not afraid to like lose
Mm-hmm.
it. Which I think
Mm-hmm.
it's very important whenever you're starting a business, because you're
Mm-hmm.
also investing in yourself, which a lot of people don't even,
Yeah.
realize that when you're building a brand, when you're building a product, if it's like either yourself or an actual item, you do have to set aside like, okay, I'm investing this. I don't know if I'm going to see a return, but I'm
Yeah.
willing to put forth something that I am willing to lose. And
Yeah.
sometimes whenever we get into, especially the beauty industry, which is like huge, it's
Mm-hmm.
just like you
Mm-hmm.
have to be really mindful. It's just like, okay, I want to go into it where I feel comfortable. And sometimes a lot of people want to jump out there and then they really hurt themselves. And
Yeah.
then they get like a little bit, peeved about it. But it's
Yeah.
just like you have to give yourself that space and that mental capacity of, hey, I'm okay of, $12,500, whatever. It's
Mm-hmm.
just like
Yeah.
every step is still a step,
Yeah.
and like any money that's towards your business
Mm-hmm.
will always be returned
Mm-hmm.
regardless.
That's
That's
true.
one thing that I really found out, because it's
Yeah.
just like, money is technically energy, but at the
Yeah.
end of the day, if you believe in it, that's
Yeah.
your number one consumer. Because if
Yeah.
you don't believe in your own
Yeah.
stuff, like,
Yeah.
you're not,
What you doing?
people are not going to be willing to buy what you're trying to
Yeah.
sell.
Exactly. That's very true.
So
And
I
you,
think that
thank
was
you so much for
brilliant.
the love. She's such a huge fan. I look up to her
Uh,
so much. She's starting her own line of niche fragrances
you
really soon. So
are?
September, she's amazing. She's a girl boss. Literally, she's launching September, like I said, unless that's changed. I'm not sure, but I'm really excited for her. I go to her for so much advice,
Uh,
so I feel like it'd be great for you guys to connect as well. But yeah,
oh,
she's
for
a
sure.
huge fan.
Well,
And yeah,
congrats.
I don't know if she's still in there, but yeah, she's
I can't tell.
amazing.
I usually
But
can't. I'm
yeah,
like, Instagram's still learning about that.
yeah,
But no, I think that's quite brilliant.
yeah,
And I loved how you went into the discovery set, because a lot of people are just a little bit more apprehensive, because you get like
Mhm.
like say like a full bottle, and
Yeah.
you're just like,
Yeah,
I
I
spent this
actually
money,
don't
and
like
what if I don't
this.
like that? And I'm like,
Exactly.
I like that people are starting to do samples. So
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
think that also prompts people to buy more of your
Yeah,
product, because it's just like, yeah, I totally
yeah,
understand. You may not know my product,
yeah,
so let me give you a
yeah,
sample of all,
yeah.
because who doesn't love a sample?
Exactly.
It's like
Exactly.
it's
And
like
I'm
going to
so
Central
happy I
Market.
did it. I wasn't gonna do it
Yeah,
before because of the cost, but
yeah,
then I met with like a fragrance influencer, and she was like, "Girl, you're gonna want to do those discovery sets," because she's in like she
yeah,
markets literal
yeah.
perfumes, and she was like, "You're really gonna want to do those discovery sets, and that's where the idea sort of came to me, and I was like, okay, I'll definitely have to do it because like people aren't just gonna be like, oh, that's a pretty bottle, let me buy it.
I'm
And
I'm that
it
girl.
costs a lot of money too. Yeah, no, they get me. I'm not gonna lie, they've
I'm
got me
like,
once or twice.
it's the packaging for
It's
me.
the
Like, I'm just
packaging.
like, what is it gonna look like on my
Exactly.
countertop?
Exactly. Like that. There's the Parfums de Marly like perfume bottles are so pretty with the little. It's
Yes.
like a pink bottle with a tassel. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
oh yes. I think I bought one of them or the other without smelling it, and I just bought it because I was like, yeah, you look pretty. I'm sure you smell pretty, and it did smell pretty.
You're
It did
like,
smell pretty.
you did what you
Hmm.
came here to do. I
Yeah.
appreciate you. No,
Exactly.
packaging is very important, and I
Yeah.
believe your story is also very important.
Hmm.
And I love how when I went to your TikTok, and I
Hmm.
was just like, she probably was just like, this crazy lady is just like scrolling all the way down, like, why is she on my profile?
I'm dead.
No, I
Yeah.
loved how you were truthful and honest about creating this brand, because
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people don't realize that consumers are buying from people
Mm,
instead of consumers buying from companies now, because there's a
mm,
certain awareness
mm,
that
mm,
is now with social media, which is also
mm,
very helpful,
mhm.
is that people are buying from people.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like it's more like adjusted to the generational time that we're in right now compared
Yeah.
to, back in the day, like that's all you had was
Yeah.
markets. That's like
That's
if
it.
you think about it, we only had
Literally.
markets. We didn't have
Literally.
big conglomerates or
No.
big corporations or
No.
anything like that.
We
You
didn't.
got your produce, you got your perfumes, you got your
Hmm.
clothing from markets. If you didn't
Hmm.
go to the market, you didn't buy
Buy
nothing because
anything.
there's nothing.
Yeah. There's nothing
You
else.
just
You can't get it anywhere else. Yeah. Literally.
exactly. So
Yeah.
I feel like you also brought a very organic and authentic,
Thank you.
trustworthy base with your customers
Yeah.
because it wasn't all, sunshine and
Mm-mm.
rainbows through this
Mm-mm.
process. It was just like,
No.
I don't know what I
Mm-mm.
am doing, and a
Yeah.
lot of money
Oh,
is
the money
being
is being
spent.
spent, and I don't know if it's gonna come back to me, but I pray it does. You
And
know?
I would want to ask,
Yeah.
if you looking back at your content
Hmm.
now
Hmm.
and see how far you come from, like would
Hmm.
you change or would you add any more of
I
like
wish
those
I
days where it's
posted
just like
more. I
okay.
wish I wasn't posting nearly enough. Even now, I'm not even posting as much as I should.
Hmm.
And I, I've still seen so much growth.
Yeah.
And going back, I wish I posted more. I didn't. I was posting like once a week, once every 2 days or
Hmm.
something like that. And it was like pretty inconsistent, but I was consistent in posting overall, if that made sense. I just
Yeah.
wasn't posting frequently, but I
Yeah.
wish I posted way more. I think it would have benefited me a lot more. However, it also comes with I get overwhelmed really easily, although it doesn't seem like that because
Yeah.
I'm dealing with a lot, but that's why I avoid posting sometimes because I'm like, I know the more I post, the more engagement I'm gonna get, the more
Hmm.
orders I'm gonna get. And then there's, because I put a cap for myself sometimes. I'm like, okay, I can really only do this much for this period of time, and that's what I'm willing to sell because I'm literally one person. But
Hmm.
once I started getting help, then I basically just let the doors open so anybody can order anything for any amount, and as long as I have it in stock, they can purchase it. But prior to that, honestly, I just get overwhelmed really easily. So that's kind of tied to the frequency of my postings because I'm like, I know the more I post, the more I'll sell.
You're like, I'm selling more. This is for a
Yeah, let
purpose.
me
We're
just
not having an
relax.
anxiety attack. It's fine.
Yeah.
No, I completely understand that. So
Mm,
I guess one question I would ask
hmm.
with, each um a lot of content creators talk about like how sometimes when you've reached a certain milestone in your content career as well as your business, you evolve. And
Mm,
some people it's just like, oh, I was here in the beginning and like
hmm.
she wasn't like this or he wasn't like this.
Hmm.
And I would wonder to know like because I okay, me personally, I always say like if you're
Hmm.
gonna follow somebody and you know they're on a trajectory of like their dream life, their dream career, they're gonna
Hmm.
evolve. They're
Yeah.
gonna, do something different. And,
Mm,
you can't like be, in your feelings about like, well, that's not what you used to do. Of
mm,
course that's not what they used
yeah,
to do
used
because
to
they're
do.
not in the same place that they were.
No, yeah,
Like that's
exactly. I see
completely
that
two
argument
different people.
always online, like
Yeah.
for influencers who have sort of projected
Yeah.
and like totally exploded and like are doing amazing. And they're like, you used to shop at K-State, now you're shopping at like Louis Vuitton or Dior or whatever. And I'm like,
Yeah. Let
guys,
people live.
let's be honest. If we all made that money, we would be in there too,
Yeah.
you know?
Sure.
So
And
yeah, no, I get
yeah.
it. Yeah, people are changing, and the more you progress through life and you're doing better, of course, you're not. I don't think it's even possible to stay the same, and I really don't.
Yeah.
In all aspects, really, not just like just your financial situation. You just change over time. That's just what it is. So yeah, I agree with you on that.
And then
Hmm.
as for like your perfume oils and body oils in this certain industry,
Mm-hmm.
just starting out, like
Mm-hmm.
not just only from like consumer standpoint, but broadening yourself to like trying to get knowledgeable on
Mm-hmm.
like product, where to start, and then like data analytics. And
Mm-hmm.
how did you feel like going into that industry
Mm-hmm.
with trying to find a community to help you? Like, was it
Mm-hmm.
easy with the resources, or is it a little
Mm.
bit closed off because I feel like the perfume industry is
Mm-hmm.
kind of a little bit more well-rounded, but I could be
Mm-hmm.
wrong. Like I said, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
very familiar,
Mm-hmm.
but like I don't see a lot of like POC women,
Yeah. Yeah.
especially like with
Yeah.
oils. Like I don't
Yeah.
really see that a lot, but
Yeah.
culturally I
Mm-hmm.
do. So it's just like I
Mm-hmm.
just wanted to get your standpoint on that.
Yeah, in terms of like business owners, I
Yeah.
don't think there's that many uh black women, at least that I'm familiar. I mean, there's a few I can count on one hand that I know of, but
Mhm.
like general compared to like the majority, we're like a drop in like the ocean, it's there's not a
Yeah.
lot of us out there. So that's one of the things that I noticed, and I knew because of that it would be sort of easier for me to be noticed, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So it would be easier for me to sort of grow online and grow a platform as a Black perfume business owner, because there aren't
Mhm.
that many of us. And it doesn't even feel competitive, not even in the slightest. It feels more so like a community, like
Oh, good.
even with the other female business owners. I've reached out to a few of them, like Ehi, for example. We bounce ideas off
Mhm.
of each other all the time, and she's another founder. It doesn't feel competitive at all, and it feels very welcoming and warm. Unlike if you were to start a business in another industry, like fashion, for
Right.
example, you're most likely not going to be sharing, resources
Yeah,
and
you're like
whatnot.
a little bit closed off. Like I don't
Yeah,
want you to see my
yeah,
notes, type of thing. Yeah.
yeah.
No, I
So
totally
for
understand.
sure, it's definitely yeah, there's not that many Black women, probably women of color in that industry as well. I'm honestly not too sure, but in terms of finding what I needed to find in order to start, that was really easy. Literally
That's
everything
crazy.
I needed to know was
Yeah.
on Google. And anything that I didn't know, any manufacturer that I
Mhm.
reached out to, I would ask them questions. Like if they were talking to me in like acronyms and stuff, I'm like, what does that mean? And then they tell me, and that's how I knew what a safety data sheet was, and a MSDS. I was like, material safety data sheet. Now I know what that is. COA, certificate of analysis. Now I know what that is. Prior to,
Mhm.
I had no idea what those things were. Regulations. There aren't perfume regulations in the US, however, like standards,
Right.
but there is one in Europe. So that's what I kind of followed and based my products off of, because I was like,
Yeah.
I just want products that are safe to use, whether or not they're regulated here, and
Exactly.
also, if they do, for example, start being regulated, I didn't want to find myself in a problem, so I'm
Yeah.
happy that I did a lot of research prior to starting. I was like, okay, what do I need? How do I make sure it's
Mhm.
safe? What am I getting myself into? All of that you can find on Google, literally just Googling. I want to start a perfume brand. And really anything that applies to perfume, like sprayable perfume, kind
Yeah.
sort of also applies to perfume oils, because some perfumes are made with perfume oils, some aren't. They're just extracts, and then it's mixed with perfumer's alcohol, so but like
Yeah.
it's pretty similar. So that's kind of like what I did. And Google will be your best friend. Like I get so many DMs and they're like, where did you find this? Where did you find that? And I'm like,
You're
guys,
like
literally
Google.
Google, and then you just gotta pick one. You really just
Oh
gotta
my
pick,
gosh.
talk to them, reach out. They'll answer you. They'll be the ones like in your email, like, hey, we saw your request, da, 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 so
Mhm.
it's really not hard. I know what the hard part is picking and not knowing if you're picking the right one. But the only way
Yes.
you can know that is if you do your research prior and you have questions to ask them, so that you know if they're the right fit for you. That's the only way you can make sure you pick someone that's relatively good for you. So that's what I did. I'm like, guys, Google will be your best friend. It was mine. It still is. Although Google isn't as good as it used to be, I don't know what's going on. Sometimes I search something and it's just AI answering my question. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I need a link. I need a link, guys.
It's like
But
I love your
yeah.
opinion, but also I need the actual facts.
Yeah.
Like I need some articles, please.
Exactly. Exactly.
A web
Exactly.
page. They're like,
Literally.
this is what you're looking for. I heard you, but
Yeah.
I also need
Yeah. But I
like
also need like
yes.
resources. Hello.
Yeah.
But
Send
yeah.
me to the website.
Um, yeah. So yeah, that's what I would say really helped me
Mm.
in the beginning. Google. Like I Googled everything. and I made sure it was from like a verifiable resource or
Right.
company or organization, just to make sure I wasn't being fed BS. But
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that was really easy. Like I didn't struggle with that at all. That took me literally like a day or
I
two
love
to just skim
that
through
though.
stuff and document. Yeah. Hmm.
And that brings me to my next question
Yeah.
because just like, whenever we're starting something new that we've never done before, we can easily
Yeah.
get overwhelmed
Oh
because
yeah.
it's just like,
Mm,
it could be huge.
yeah.
So, like, how did you come up with like scheduling or like, okay,
Mm,
I'm just going to focus on this much
mm,
today and then do this? Because I always say, like, for me, when I
mhm,
created this brand, I'm
mhm.
just like, I want it to be this. I was just like, oof, hold on. Let's
Yeah,
bring
I
it back
know.
down. Let's see what
Yeah.
achievable goals we
Goals.
can
Yeah.
do. So, do
Yeah.
you still do like achievable goals while even though
Hmm.
you're thriving in your business right now,
Oh yeah.
um, but you always want it to be better? Like, do you still set
Mm.
goals for yourself? It's just like,
Oh
okay,
yeah.
like, I want, like, how, talk me through that process.
Of course I do. And I actually started doing this way before I even started my business
Hmm.
because um I noticed that when I was focusing on the goal itself, it was overwhelming and
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, I can't do this, this is too much. But I was like, okay, so what do I want? I want 500 orders by what, December or whatever it may be. My goal
Yeah.
is really to have 500 orders, I think, within a year or less than.
Hmm.
And I think I accomplished that. When did I accomplish 500 orders? It was like around, I think, in January or something. So,
Nice.
thank you. Yeah. So the way I break it down is kind of like the goal. What do I need in order to achieve that? So
Right.
500 orders, I would need to have product, of course. I would
Hmm.
need to market, post a certain amount of times. I know how many orders I need in a day per month in order to get to my 500. Like literally, I just break it down and then orders per day, orders per week, orders per month.
Hmm.
If it's a dollar value that I'm looking at, I know how much I need to make every single day in order to meet my monthly sales goals. So that's kind of like what I do, and it makes it more fun, literally. It makes it more fun. It feels like I'm playing a video game.
Yeah.
But if it's like, oh, I need to get here, I'm over here, and I don't know how to get there because I didn't lay it out. It's like I'm going around in circles and getting confused
Exactly.
before I could technically still get there, but it will just take me longer, or I'll
Exactly.
be stressed out of my mind before I get there. So literally breaking things down. I do this with everything. Even sometimes I don't show up and do the work, but writing it out
Hmm.
makes it so much easier for me to achieve that goal because I see it. And that's why I don't journal a lot, but when I do, I write down my thoughts, and then I have like quarterly goals for myself as well as for my business.
Hmm.
And that's also a great way to just track your progress, because if you don't see if you don't if you don't know what you're trying to do, of course, then what are you even doing?
Right.
So
Right.
just writing down the goal, of course, and creating a plan to get there. That's literally all it is for me, at least. That's what I do. And it's worked so
Yeah.
far, literally. Every
Yeah.
single goal that I've accomplished, the 500 orders, the 1,000 orders, I'm about to
Hmm.
hit two. Like, I didn't even write down 2,000. My goal for the goals for the year stopped at 1,000, because I was like, that's what my goal is for the year.
Right.
I wasn't expecting to hit that,
Yeah.
like last month, but I did. So it's literally just showing up, doing the work, and doing good work also. It's not just like, I actually, the work is well done, and it runs smoothly, it's efficient. So there's hardly any resistance to it. And I think also, I swear, I think it's because I write it down. I don't even write down on my phone. Like, I write down in my
I
planner.
know. Like, I don't know what it is, but like the
Yeah.
hand to paper
Her Something happens there. Magic.
does. It does.
Something
Because I
happens
can
there.
keep digital notes all
Yeah.
day and be like, I forgot to do
If Yeah, yeah,
but
exactly.
it's that
Yeah.
hand to paper
Yeah.
action where it's just like, I don't know. I felt
Yeah.
my soul know
Yeah.
what I needed
Yeah.
to do it. No, I totally
Exactly.
get that. And I love
Yeah.
that you do that.
Yeah. And I did
It's
that
so much
in the
easier.
beginning too, when, like, it's hard when you're not sure what you're doing, but
Right.
I broke it down into I'm starting a business. Even I think I asked ChatGPT and I also Googled it. I was like, what do I need in order to make sure I have everything in order to start my
Hmm.
business? And it broke it down to me: business design, brand strategy, um, stuff like that, packaging
Yeah.
design, web design. It just broke it down. And I literally copied it, put it in a Google Doc, and I would check up on it every couple of weeks or something, and making sure I was advancing in what I
Hmm.
needed to do. And anything that I completed, I just deleted it. So I didn't,
Had to
I
look
didn't even
at
have to
it.
see it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that was really helpful in the beginning, like not knowing where to even beginning what am I saying? Not to even not knowing
Yeah.
where I'm starting. So I
Yeah.
would yeah, I would just it created like a roadmap for me and it was easier to follow than me just being like, hey, I'm starting a business. Okay, today we're doing branding, tomorrow we're doing web design. Now it was literally orderly. So that made it very, very a lot easier for me to, work through all my goals in the beginning because had I not done that, I know me. I think I have ADHD. If it's not in front of me, I will forget about
Yeah. No, I
it.
totally understand because, like, it can be so overwhelming. Doing something that you've never done before
Mhm.
can make your world feel so small
Oh yeah,
because you're just like, where
you're
do I even go?
big in it.
And
Yeah.
and I find this very interesting how I bring it back to like the TikTok app
Hmm.
when it first came out. There
Hmm.
was tons of people on there, and
Hmm.
a lot of people were going through the same thing. It's just like we don't know what we're doing
Yeah.
either. So I think that's
Mhm.
also helpful to find like the community base of just like, hey, I'm just starting this off too.
Yeah.
And I love how you did that with your company where
Hmm.
it's just like, hey, like come with me making a perfume company.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like this is
Yeah.
how I did it. And
Literally.
you're like, this is me trying to pick out an office space. I don't know
Yeah.
which one, but
Well,
I figured out this,
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just kind of, it's you walk through that. And I feel like us as kids, like we weren't privy or have that technology where we could
Mm-hmm.
see that stuff. We only saw the end goal. Like,
Mm,
and
that's
I
very
feel
true.
like that's why there's a separation between like us and a little bit of Gen Z whenever we do things because
Mm-hmm.
we can sometimes get a little bit overwhelmed because we see
Mm.
the end goal,
Yeah.
but we
Yeah. Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
quite see the
That's so
steps
true.
to get there, especially
Yeah.
if you've never done it
Yeah.
before. And then like they're just like, oh, I went on that girl's page and I'm just gonna do that. Like I love
Yeah.
how
Mm-hmm.
you end up showing off a blueprint
Mm.
to the world
What?
because
Mm-hmm.
it's just a helpful guide and a helpful
Mm-hmm.
tool,
Yeah.
and that's one thing that I love about that. And that also brings me to like care, and I love how
Mm-hmm.
you picked a unique way to say care, so
Yeah.
tell me more about that.
Oh my gosh. Literally, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I got the name from my business plan. And
Yeah.
then I wrote down the crazy ways that I can spell it.
Uh-huh.
And it started off Cairek. And then eventually, like looking at it, I think it was between Kaer and I can't remember. It was two spellings, like Kaer or Cair or something like it was between those
Right.
two. And I remember I was like, oh, which one looks better? Which one would, because I had no logo, so I had no idea which one would look better. Yeah.
Right.
I would just type it out and change the fonts
Mm-hmm.
on Google Docs. And I remember I asked my cousin Aisha, and I was like, Aisha, which one do you like between the two? And she's like, no, definitely Kaer. So thank God to
You're
her.
like,
You know,
woo.
we would have been dealing with Caire now if it weren't for her. But yeah, that's literally how I was like, care, it sounds great, but we need a unique spelling
Yeah.
because I was looking at my competitors, way, like the
Mm-hmm.
way,
Mm-hmm.
and all these brands that have like their name sort of is their brand,
Mm-hmm.
So like I wanted that to be my business, and I felt like Care was perfect because I could sell anything with Care.
Yeah.
Literally, I could sell anything with Care, and that's what I wanted. So anything that involved beauty or even fashion, I knew
Mm-hmm.
I could do it, and so that's why it took me so long because I had no idea what to call it, but I knew what I wanted the name to exude, and I was like, damn, like I really don't have a business name, and how am I gonna do anything? I can't do my logo, I can't do my
Right.
packaging, I can't do my what without my logo name because it starts from the name, business name, and then you go on the onto the look and feel of your business and whatnot. So I was just so grateful once I had the name. I was like, okay, this is it. And I deleted all the other names that I had in mind, and that's what
Like
it
it's
was.
trash.
So that's why I was like, guys, if you write out your business plan and your brand strategy, things will come to
It
you.
will.
Because had I not, I wouldn't have this business name. I'd be working with something else right now.
But
But yeah.
I, I love how you also take the time and create the patience, because I know sometimes patience is not given or
Yes.
taken well, but you
Yeah.
create the room for patience
Yeah.
to things to be revealed to you. And I think that's
Mhm.
very important for a
Yeah.
business owner or
Thank you.
anybody creative,
Yeah.
because it's just like we want things so quickly, just
Yeah.
to, oh yes, and we're going and we're
Yeah.
going, and like, but when we hit that
Yeah.
pause, the pause
Mm,
posture of
mm,
it all can really be a tall tale of
hmm.
how things will go in the future.
For sure. And great things came out of patience for me. My business name, my
Yes.
packaging. Like I couldn't find the bottles that I wanted to use, and I didn't get them until like March. Like I didn't actually March of 2024. I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
find packaging that I liked. And I was looking at it since before I even had anything. I was on Alibaba searching for packaging and nothing was fitting what I wanted.
Uh-huh.
And finally, I came across it literally in March. As soon as I got it, I sent it to my packaging designers and they were like, "Yep." They went to work, sent it back to me. I sent it to them and they started working on
Ah,
it and literally created samples and I'm like so great. That's why I'm like it takes time, but then again, you don't want to like
yeah.
come to a total stop, if that makes any sense. So I gave
Yeah.
myself enough time where I made sure I was still doing the work, striving, trying to look for something.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I
Mm-hmm.
knew I had it, I just went off of it. I never did the opposite where I was like, I can't find anything, let's just go with this. I never did that. I was like, I needed it to be great. I'll be honest with you. I just not
Like,
perfect, but I needed it to be
great.
great. Yes, I needed it to be
That's the
great.
standard.
That's my standard. I needed it to be great.
Exactly.
And yeah, I'm just happy I was patient. Yep. Yeah, so I tell people it takes time, so take your time. I was trying to do it
Yeah.
quickly, and that's what made me feel worse. I just know because I was like, my
Mhm.
launch date was supposed to be April. Like that's what it
Oh,
was like April,
okay. Yeah.
May, and then it just kept getting pushed back. And I was like, oh dear, this is terrible. I'm launching all these floral sweet scents in the fall. This isn't gonna be, but people don't care. Literally, nobody
It,
cared.
it
People
smells
bought my
great.
stuff.
Bye.
Literally, people don't care. So yeah, it I was very patient and
Mhm.
it stressed me out a lot. And looking back, I just took a breather because I know I lost a couple of hair
Girl,
strands
I
because of
know there's a gray
it.
hair from my stress levels. I'm like, now when did Storm enter the
Yeah,
room?
exactly. Exactly. But
No,
yeah, that's yeah.
I
Hmm.
love that.
Hmm.
But to just to wrap it up, because I don't want to take any more of your time.
No, it's okay.
But
Yeah.
what what would you tell yourself
Mm,
if you're like 10 years down the road? What would you tell
mm,
yourself now of how care has evolved and where it could be and what will be as
hmm,
somebody just starting out?
mm. So telling someone in the future?
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, good Lord. Let's see. Honestly, it's what I tell people now, which is,
Mhm.
guys, you just have to like uh, start. Like you literally just have to push yourself to start. That resistance you're feeling is normal. The fear is normal. I've never been so scared in my life. I've been in some scary situations and I've never been so scared in my life. Literally, it was the scariest thing I think I've ever done.
Mhm.
And it's scary. No one's going to hold your hand to the finish line. That's just the truth. People will be there to assist and guide you, but no one's going to hold your hand and pull you there. You have to,
Wow,
walk yourself up there. Yeah. So the truth is do the work, do the research, do the work, but don't let it be all that you do, because people get stuck in that phase where they're like, oh yeah, I'm doing research, and that's all they do for 5 years. You don't want to be that person.
Mm-hmm.
Start, and that's, I was like, it just needs to be great. It doesn't have to be perfect. Hi Fatima, how are you? It doesn't have to be perfect. Just start. And a lot of people, and I'm always happy to help people to, nudge them in the right direction. Like, I'm no expert. That's what I try to tell them. Like, this is me figuring it out,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm telling you what I know works is if you just start and make sure you do your research beforehand. Don't get stuck in that phase, and actually push yourself to n- make sure you launch by a certain time. Like, set a goal and be like, okay, I'm doing this now. By next year, my business is up and running and I'm making sales. And break it down into, easier goals. But literally just start. No one's going to drag you to the finish line. You have to take yourself there. And if I could, I wish I could, but I'm just one person. You have to do it yourself and ask for help.
Yes.
People are more than willing to talk to you. Like, I reached out to so many people, even Fatima. I reached out to Fatima to hop on a cold call with her. She has a fragrance brand as well. She sells like body oils, perfume oils,
Thank
hummus, which are like
you.
Nigerian type scents. So thank you so much, Fatima. And she was great. Like, it was great talking to her. She helped me figure out a lot as well. And our names are the same. I just realized that. I'm sure you're like, is she talking
Yeah,
to
I was like,
herself
I
or
was like,
no?
wait a
Our
minute.
our names are the same. Thank you so much. Rooting for you as well. And yeah, that's definitely the advice I would give. And that's, if I could put it in a nice, cute little package, that's all I would say, because that applies to any type of business you're starting. Yeah.
Oh, well, I love that because we all need it. Like I said
Mhm.
when we first opened, it's just like nobody knows what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. I
We're
had no clue,
literally
guys.
taking we're just shooting our shot at life and be like, this
Yeah.
is where I feel
Yeah.
most aligned.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
where it's gonna go, but it's going, and I'm
Exactly.
making the intuitive nudges to the right
Yeah.
areas, and
Yeah.
hopefully it'll land.
Yeah, exactly. I prayed about it a
Yeah.
lot, and my family members prayed about it, my friends. They prayed. Like, a lot went into it, because literally I had no idea what I was doing. And I think I've said it multiple times, and people think I'm joking. I literally didn't
Like,
know. I just did the
mhm,
work, and I was like, this feels right. This is the from my research, and from what I've learned online and
mhm.
from other people. I take their advice, and I take what, from what I know, what feels right, and I just make a decision. And I think that's what scares people, is that they want someone else to decide for them. But you really just need to do it and move on to the next thing. Like, don't
Yeah,
get stuck on one thing. That's when things start feeling like debilitating, and you start feeling stuck, like, oh no, I can't do this. Like, I went through that phase where I was like, can I do this? No, I can't do this. Yes, I can do this. Like, yes, you can do. It was like constantly changing, but I just pushed through it. And you just got to force yourself through that. And I still
exactly.
experience that sometimes at the stage I am now. And I don't think it's ever going to stop, because the problems you're facing at different phases, I realize they you don't really stop having problems. The problems just change. So
Exactly.
it's just really interesting. But yeah, I good luck to everybody out there. And honestly, if I can do it, you can. Because I'm a lazy hard worker. I'm lazy, but I get the work done. Okay, guys? If
I'm
I can do
dead.
it, you
She
can do
said I'm a
it.
lazy hard worker.
I am. I'm lazy, but
Oh
I
my
work hard.
gosh.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wouldn't
But
say
yeah,
lazy at all. Like you're a very hard worker. I think you just
thank you.
pace yourself very well
Yeah,
where you
yeah,
create balance. And
yes.
I do have to say, anytime when somebody says they're lazy, I'm like, no, babe, if you're still achieving your goals, you're just
Yeah,
balancing out, the adrenaline,
that
and then
that's
also like,
true.
hey, I gotta listen to my body today.
You're
And
right. You're right, sis.
you're
Because you
not
know what's
lazy.
funny? You know what's funny? When I was working my 9 to 5, I
Mhm.
hated going into the office, and I only had to go in 2 days a week. Now I go in 5 days a week, and I don't even complain.
You're like,
I go into it for myself for 5 days a week, and I don't complain. But 2 days a
but
week, I was
that's
like,
the
yeah,
thing.
I can't do this.
No, I
Yeah.
totally understand. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
know I'm at this position in life because I'm just like, okay, this is feeding into what I
Mm-hmm.
want, that I'm not even putting myself on it. But it's just like, what do you do that you love so much? that you don't mind getting like not getting paid for.
Exactly.
That's when
Exactly.
you know like it's not work,
Literally.
it's just purpose.
Yeah. And all this time,
That's
I
what it
didn't start
is.
paying myself until like last month. Like all this time, I didn't start paying
Mhm.
myself until last month. And I was like, damn, feels good to get a paycheck, you
You're
know?
like,
But like
hey, I made something.
I
Is
made
that a break
something.
even?
Oh my gosh. But yeah,
No.
I'm super grateful. And yeah, thank you for, letting me come on here and talk to people. And I can't wait for more people to watch this. So yeah, I appreciate you reaching out as well. You're very sweet. And I think it's great what you're doing. And I had a great time talking to you last week and this week as well. Like
Yes.
lovely, lovely vibes.
No, anytime. If you need to hop on, like
Hmm.
one for like any new launches,
Of
or if
course.
you
Of
have an
course.
event, let me
Hmm.
know so I
Yes.
can post about it because this is really just thank you for
That's
our
my
interaction.
sister.
Oh.
Thank you.
Well,
Yeah,
you're
cause
welcome. I'd love to have your sister on here.
thank you for joining.
No,
Yeah.
I really appreciate you for one
Mm,
to accepting this because
mm,
I really think that your story has brought a lot of light into a lot of people's world. You know,
mm,
even if they're on not doing a perfume thing, but
mhm.
just more of the entrepreneurship, and then also like the whole Jackie Ina,
Oh, girl, I keep
just
forgetting
like,
about
woo!
that. I feel like that I can't
You're
believe that
like,
happened.
like I'm still shocked, but I was just like, isn't this
Yeah.
a glorious moment because
Yeah.
someone's actually using their platform to help somebody
Yeah.
and spread and shine a
Crazy.
light. And I'm just like,
Insane.
is that still blowing
Insane.
up for you? Because I'm still
Girl,
seeing it
yes.
everywhere.
Like
I love
it
that.
is. And the products are sold out. And I was like, I
You're
just keep
like,
getting a lot of
hold
messages
on.
and comments like when is it coming back in stock? I'm like, guys, literally as soon as I know,
Oh my
I'm
god,
going to let you guys know. But yeah, it's I forget about it, and the reason why is that I can't believe that it happened.
I
It's
know.
like I met Michael Jackson. That's what it feels like.
You're like, what just happened here?
Yeah, I'm like, what just happened? It's crazy. I've watched her videos for over 10 years, and now
Mhm.
had I known she bought, it probably would have been less of a shock, but I had no idea. That's the reason why it was such a
I
huge
love
shock.
that though.
And most all influencers that I've posted my product, I usually send it to them because it's a new brand, so they're not familiar with with the brand and the product.
Right.
So I was just so shocked that she like not that she didn't even reach out for PR. She just bought them, And I remember, I still can't believe it. That's why I don't ever bring it up. It's because I just don't believe that it happened.
I'm like,
It's very
that
strange.
was something
Very,
to like mark.
yeah.
It's like a historic moment
Oh
to your
yeah.
brand
Oh
because it's
yeah.
just like,
Oh yeah.
hey, because we don't seek outside validation, but whenever
Hmm.
we meet like our heroes and like
Yeah.
some people that we look up to,
Yeah.
like as entrepreneurs and
Yeah.
that looks just like us doing
Yes.
their thing, you're just like,
Yes.
oh, but what?
Oh yeah. I was like,
What?
cut the
That
cameras.
happened?
I was like,
Yeah.
where are they?
I'm
Cut
like,
the
hold on.
cameras.
Like, are we okay? Like, are we
Literally.
good? No,
Literally. It's
you are
insane.
real. You're really doing the thing, and
Thank you.
you have another supporter here, like
Oh,
all day, every day,
thank you so
anytime you
much,
need it.
sis. That's amazing.
No,
Like I appreciate it and I appreciate you. Like I said, it's always great chatting and if you want to talk, even just like not on live or anything, you can feel free to reach out to me.
damn.
I'll send you my number so
Yeah,
that you can. And I don't know if you have like my business email, but I'll send that as well. If I send you my personal email, I won't get a thing because it's just, you know, all these companies sending me discount codes.
that's
But
what I have for
yeah.
mine. I was just like,
Yeah.
that's why I sent you my business one. I'll send you
Yeah.
my other one for
Yeah.
like creative interest. But
Yeah.
like anytime
Yeah.
I shop, I have my personal because
Personal,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah,
I
yeah,
can't get a
yeah.
hold of it
Mm-mm.
and try to clean
Literally,
that
it's a
out.
mess
I'm
in
just like,
there. I have
oof,
like thousands of unopened emails, but it's because of them. And I try to go and like
girl.
cut down on them, but
Oh,
it just, it just couldn't. I just
it
can't. Yeah, it's
tells
too.
me every day
Yeah.
it's like maximize storage. I was like, I don't know where to go.
I'm
It's
good.
probably like at 5,000 emails in
Yeah,
there. I'm just like, I don't
yeah.
know what to do but
Where to put
delete
them?
everything.
Exactly. It's
It's
so
it's a
crazy.
ruckus, but
No.
no, for
Hmm.
sure. We'll
Hmm.
exchange numbers, but I
Yeah.
would love to keep in touch. And
Same,
again,
same. Yeah.
you'll always Be welcome to the non-niche
Of
fam. So I
course.
really appreciate you
Thank
sitting
you.
down with me tonight.
Of course. Thank you so much, girl. I
No
appreciate you,
problem.
okay?
And
You
good
have a good one.
night.
Okay, good night. Have a good one.
You
Bye, guys.
too. Bye.
Bye.